All right, everybody. We are live with the Combatcast. We are going to preview UFC 313, and we're going to be talking about this weekend's Fight Night 2 real quick. But first, before we do that, let's talk about our sponsor.
All right, would like to thank support sponsor Game Up. They make a thirst-quenching adult beverage with a special blend of electrolytes. Help keep you hydrated while you're drinking. It comes in 4 great flavors: fruit punch, lemon lime, orange, and grape.
That's right, guys. And it's only 110 calories. It's low carb. So get yourself some Game Up. And let's talk about some of the stuff we have coming up first, too.
All right, coming up, we have March 15th UFC Fight Night, Vettori versus Dolidze 2. Interesting middleweight matchup. That's in the Apex. And then March 22nd, UFC Fight Night, Edwards versus Brady. Tough matchup for Brady, or for Edwards, rather. He was supposed to fight JDM, and now instead he's getting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master Sean Brady. That'll be 3 p.m. Eastern card from London. We love those ones. And then March 29th, UFC Fight Night, Moreno versus Urseg. That's a 7 p.m. Eastern card from Mexico. So Brendan Moreno headlining a Mexico card. That should be a fun one.
All right, so some good fights coming up. And let's just talk about this past weekend. Almabayev versus Cape. And it's Cape or is it Cap? Oh, it's
Cap.
Cap. Yeah, Manuel Cap. And let's talk about this card. There wasn't a lot to talk about, I don't think. But
we'll just talk about the fight of the night that was on the undercard, which I called being the fight of the night. Nasrat Haqparast versus Esteban Ribovics. Ribovics was a fight of the year winner with Daniel Zellhuber last year. I think he was a pretty good sized favorite going into this fight against Haqparast, who is a tough guy. But Nasrat actually won a split decision. Very close fight. I personally had it going Ribovics' way, but I could see, Nasrat did get a takedown at the end of the third, so maybe that secured him that third round. But very close fight, very fun fight. Both guys showing they have good chins. Maybe not so much head movement, but good chins. Very fun fight.
All right, co-main event.
All right, co-main event. I talked a bunch of shit on this one, but it actually was pretty fun. So Cody Brundage versus Julian, the Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez.
Yeah, Cody Brundage has just had an interesting career to me. Like, he loses fights, and you're like, you watch him, and you're like, oh, okay, this guy's probably not long for the UFC. And then he'll get like a slam win in one of his fights, And then this one, I'm watching the fight. I watched this the next day, and I'm watching him get caught, and I'm watching him get pieced up, and I'm like, this dude's out. And to the point, I had gotten the fight spoiled for me. I had read it, and I thought, I must have read this wrong. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, holy shit. And then, you just see him throwing haymakers, and he connects, and he gets the win. And I don't know. It's like the old wrestling loser leaves town match. I keep waiting for him to lose, and they're just going to get rid of him. But he keeps finding a way to win. And good for him. I thought about this for this week. I thought, once in a while I like to do this with the fights, usually after pay-per-views. But for this guy, I like to see him fight Eric Anders. Just because I think they would just throw down, and it might be a fun fight, and Brundage might surprise us again.
Yeah, similar fighters in style and probably skill set. That'd be a fun one. But
I think Anders is close. I don't think he's in the top 15 either, but I think he's closer. So I think he would be a good fight for him.
Yeah. This one was fight. I definitely thought when Cody started taking those shots, he's there's a little bit of a story about him, maybe not having enough heart and trying to look for a way out. Well, he shut that down. I mean, I was saying that last week, kind of with those illegal elbows. He's, he had one no contest and won one fight by taking illegal elbows in a 3-year span. So I guess maybe he's just really unlucky. Because he definitely showed a lot of heart. This one, very close to being finished, and he just came back with all the power, landed heavy on Marquez, and Unfortunately for Marcus, I think that's 4 losses in a row for him now.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's probably getting cut, but laid it all on the line. He did everything he could to win because he, like I said, very close to get the finish.
And there was a weird moment too where they both mouthpieces got knocked out at the same time, and they switched it and they stopped it. Who knows?
Yeah, and then after that, the fight got finished. Yeah, so
those split-second things, And again, weird moments for Cody Brundage, but good for him to at least get the victory out of all this chaos.
Yep. Also, let's move on. Main event: Manel Kape versus Asu Almabayev.
Yeah, more eye pokes this week. Another main event, more eye pokes. I just think about Jim Miller. Just take a point away, take some of their purse. In the end, Kape, gets the finish here. Round 3, I believe. Was it round 3 or round 4?
I think it was round 3.
It was round 3. Okay. I don't have a lot to say. I'll let you kind of take over this one, but I know they're talking potential title fight for him next. Maybe I think Kai Kara France was a fight we were supposed to get at one point.
Right, that was when Kape was trying to.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah, not when they were going to fight, but Kai was calling him out from the crowd, and they were going back and forth. So then the fight was going to get made, and then Kai got hurt, I think, and it was a whole thing.
I think just put that fight together. There's a story there. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm down for that one. Kape again is a very good fighter, annoying person though. Mm-hmm. Gets the win via eye pokes basically in the Beltran, I believe, was the ref. Very good ref. I think he went and looked at the monitor though and still said that was a punch. I mean, he got poked. It was a combination where he scraped his eye with his left hand, and then when he threw his right hand, he literally opened his fingers at the end and poked him in the eye.
He was checking with somebody, and they said they were calling it I'd like to know who he was talking to, because that's when Anik said she's like, I would have called that a poke. Looking at it,
it was clearly an eye poke, and it was terrible. It's very bad reffing. Like I said, Beltran, usually a very good ref. Don't want to get too hard on him. Also, I like Jason Herzog from last week. Don't want to be too hard on him, but and it's not necessarily them. They're just the enforcers, but they don't make the rules. But the rules should be what Jim Miller said. They should not be accepted at all. You're told in the locker room, don't poke your opponent in the eye, don't kick him in the groin, don't grab the cage. Like, those are the 3 things you can't do. Don't knee him while he's down. If you do any of those things, this should be a point. Yeah, especially the eye pokes, because you're compromised from there on out. I mean, there was a poke earlier on Almabayev. His eye was bleeding from a poke, so he was already compromised. It's terrible. I'm sick of seeing it. If
I'm with you.
The fights want to be taken seriously as a sport, they need to be enforced properly. So I don't know if the commissions, I don't know what the holdup is, if it's just bureaucracy and it's a slow, trying to turn the cruise ship takes a long time sort of thing. But let's get it sorted out. This is back-to-back weeks where fights are ended by eye pokes. So
Herzog said that I guess he owned up to the fault too. He said that he should have probably taken away a point too.
Yeah. But he said that on Cejudo's podcast, right?
Yeah. Hats off to him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but also that's a lot of pressure coming at him from Cejudo. He was saying, I have a loss on my record because of you. That's a lot of pressure to put on a ref.
Cejudo gave him props afterwards, but then that was his thing. He said, I appreciate him coming on. Big ups, a lot of guts. At the same time, though, what's going to happen with me now? I don't get a win. At very least, we should have had a no contest, but my opponent's moving forward with a victory. And
it doesn't matter. The apologies and all that doesn't matter, because matchups are made based on wins and losses, and that's a loss on his record. So same with Almabayev.
Yeah,
that's arguably more egregious, this one, because he got poked twice in one thing and they looked at it. So I don't know. It's disappointing. I'm very upset about it, as you can see. So
I hope we do something to enforce it. I just really would like to see that, but I hope that the John Jones Tom Aspinall fight is made before that, before John doesn't retire, and then they can make it during the night and day of the fight or something.
Yeah.
You imagine a fight before we should get to UFC 330. Will you imagine a fight where Jones fights Aspinall, he does an eye poke, and immediately, not even taking the point yet, but just a hard warning, just saying one more, you're fucking, we're gonna take a point away, and I would imagine that would probably screw up something for John. You know,
I don't know. John Jones has been told not to poke people in the eyes, and every fucking fight he's been in, and he still does it. So
they never give even hard warnings though with this guy. You know, not right off the bat.
They just saying keep your fingers up.
Yeah,
that's what they say. Don't put them forward. Keep them up. Like, how about you just close your fucking hand?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a point taken away immediately.
It should be. That's the way it should be. Because if you get poked in the eye, like I was saying, you're compromised for the rest of the fight. It may not be you can't see at all, but it's compromising. Whether you're now worried that the guy's going to poke you in the eye again, and that disrupts your defense, or if you're actually having vision problems, or you get a cut or something like Almabayev had. He got a cut under his eye, and then that's disrupting you. So it's worthy of taking a point, and you'll see people stop doing it. I bet.
I agree. All right, let's get to UFC 313.
This one better not end in an eye poke, or I'm burning this place down.
Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. This is going to be an interesting main event. Before we get to this main card, any fights caught your eye on this card?
Prelims a bit soft, name-wise, some good matchups, but the one I'm looking at is the featured bout on the prelims, Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kunev, who is so Curtis Blades is number 5 heavyweight, and he's fighting I'm gonna say Rizvan. He's coming right out of the Contender Series, and he gets a shot at number 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so the heavyweight division is in the toilet. That is a ridiculous. It's not like he's coming from Ryzen as the champion or something like that. Like, he fought in PFL and he had a no contest with Renan Ferreira, the giant Brazilian guy that Francis just knocked out. But he's not like some world beater champion coming in like Kaya Sakura did in the flyweight division. But so it's weird. The division's very soft, but
it's a big opportunity for him.
Yeah, big opportunity. Yeah, I mean, Curtis is always getting the toughest matchups with the worst like risk reward ratio. He needs a new manager. I don't know how he keeps getting on the end of these, because he keeps beating these guys and then he gets to like the one right before getting a title shot and he ends up losing. He needs a manager or whatever that's a little bit more forceful and more strategic, getting him to a title shot, I think. So I hope that he wins. And I think he will win. I'll say decision, but I could also see him getting a ground and pound finish because he finishes a lot of guys like that. But I'm rooting for Curtis big time on this one.
All right, let's get to this main card.
Main card, starting off hot. King Green, Bobby King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. Fighting Nerds.
Yes. Ruffy, I have it right here. Fight Nerd, 11-1, 10 KOs, 1 decision, 2-0 in the UFC, coming off his first decision victory too. So this guy's been finishing people, and if you want a guy who's going to bring the action, King Green. All right, 32-16, 1-1, 11 KOs, 9 subs, 12 decisions. He's coming off a tough loss to Pimwit. He has won 3 out of his last 5, including impressive victories over Tony Ferguson, Jim Miller. Guys that are, I know, I'm going to say
Jim Miller is an impressive one.
Yes, but I'm just saying he had impressive performances nonetheless in those fights. He got caught by Jalin Turner, I want to say, somewhere in there too.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got put out and they didn't stop the fight, and
that's the thing with
after.
That's the thing with King Green, formerly Bobby Green, is that he's a guy that's always going to bring it. This is a good fight. I like this fight, but these fight nerds, all right, they got so much momentum right now. I'm going to go with Mauricio.
Yeah, Green is very slick, but if he does get clipped, he can get put out, which we saw. And he fights with his hands down. So
yes,
which helps him offensively for sure, but defensively, he's still very good. His head movement is elite, but when he does get clipped, he's not slowing it down with his hands at all. So, Ruffy, another Fighting Nerds guy, like I said, super dangerous striker. I don't necessarily like this comparison, but people do compare him to like, a young Conor McGregor, flyweight Conor McGregor, just with his power and his movement and style. Featherweight Conor McGregor. Because let's face it, he was great at featherweight Conor. So Ruffy is like a larger version of that with his movement, his style, his stance, his power. So I think I'm a fan of King Green, but I'm going to go with Ruffy. Fighting Nerds guys are dominating right now. So I'm going to say TKO in round 2.
Okay. And I didn't say, I'm going to also say TKO round 2. Okay. Yes. Just because to Green's fighting style, he likes to bring it, and I don't think that's going to help him. So
yeah. Great fight to start off the main card, though, for sure. All right. Also, putting it out there, King Green does have like 50 fights, so he definitely has the experience.
Oh, sure.
To stop. But I think his ego is gonna put him to sleep here. So, all right, moving on. Second fight of the night, the main card: Amanda Lemos versus Iasmin Lucindo.
Lucindo is 17-5, 8 KOs, 3 subs, 6 decisions, 4-1 in the UFC. She's won 5 in a row right now. 5 in a row. She's 4-1. Oh, it must be 4 in a row. Anyway, Amanda Lemos, 14-4-1, 8 KOs, 3 subs, 3 decisions, 8-4 in the UFC, 2-2 in her last 4 fights, though. So Lemos doesn't have a lot of momentum, I would say, right now.
Top level.
Lucindo has more momentum, but I just figure Lemos has fought some of the best, and I just don't think I don't have her on decline that much yet. This is a good one. I don't really know for sure, but I'm going to say Lemos by decision.
Yeah, this is a very high-level fight, very good matchmaking. I haven't been super high or excited about a lot of the any of the women's division fights lately. This one I am excited about. This is very good matchmaking. I'm torn right now about who I'm leaning towards, but I think I'm going to pick Lucindo. Lemos has loads of power. She's very tough, but I think Lucindo is the crisper striker. So I'm going to pick her. Yeah, I'm going to pick her. Plus, she's younger, full of confidence. So I'll pick her, but I think it'll be decision. Lemos is very tough.
Okay. I'm so happy you're saying this name first, too, by the way.
Jalin Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes.
All right, Ignacio.
Ignacio.
Ignacio is 60-5, 11 KOs, 1 sub, 4 decision, 5-2 in the UFC, 1-5 of last 6, coming off of 2 finishes in a row. I believe one of those is a head kick as well. Jalin Turner, 14-8, 4 subs, lost 3 out of his last 4, but those losses are to Gamrot, Makano, and Dan Hooker. So all quality opposition. I feel like this is going to be a banger. Jalin Turner does not feel like he has a lot of momentum right now, though. And but all right, back against the wall. I'll say Jalin finds a way to get this win. I might be going against the odds here, but I'll say, and I feel like it's going to be a finish for either guy too. So I'm going to go round 2 TKO, Jalin Turner.
You remember Jalin that loss to Hanato? He actually knocked him down and tried to walk away.
Oh, right.
Hanato got up and ended up finishing him. So
yeah.
I mean, that one you could have seen going the other way as well. But Ignacio is a terrific striker, but he hasn't fought anyone near the level of Jalin Turner. Like you mentioned, the Gamrot and the likes, very, very high level opponents. He did get that knockout KO over King Green, who we know is very good as well. So it could be a breakout performance for Ignacio if he could get it done. But I think I'm going to go with experience. So I'm with you. I'm going to pick Jalin. I think it's going to be an exciting decision, though. I could definitely see either guy putting him out, but I'm going to say exciting decision for Jalin Turner.
Okay.
All right, co-main event, not necessarily the one we were hoping for, but I'll always watch Gaethje fight. Still very fun. So this is Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev 2.
Yeah. Last one was good. Fiziev is 12-3, 8 KOs, 1 sub, 3 decisions. He is coming off a TKO injury loss to Gamrot, and before that, it was a majority decision loss to Justin Gaethje in a very exciting close fight. Justin Gaethje, 25-5, 20 KOs, 1 sub, 4 decision. I just love reading off some of this guy's like resumes because he was an interim UFC lightweight champ. He was the BMF champ. Fight of the night 8 times. He's tied, I want to say, Diaz, Edgar, and Cub Swanson for 3rd most fight of the night honors. Performance of the night 5 times. I mean, he's just an exciting fighter.
The highlight.
The highlight, yeah. I want to say I favor Justin in this just because he has to win. But, you know, coming off a brutal loss like that to Max Holloway, and he took the time off, which is good. But also, I don't know how many times he's had so many wars, and Fiziev has not had that many wars. I want to see Justin win because I think I always root for him, but I'm going to go with Rafael by decision. I say this ends up being a competitive fight, and these two might even have a 3rd fight down the road.
Yeah, you know, like you were saying, they had the fight back in 2023. Most guys don't make it the distance with Justin one way or another. Either they knock him out or he, you know, knocks them out usually that way. So shout out to Fiziev for that. But Fiziev hasn't fought since 2023 because of that Gamrot fight. So ring rust could be a factor, but something tells me for him it probably won't be. I'm not too worried about it for him. I think his mentality and his spirit, so to speak, kind of washed that out. So even with that being said, you know, I think this probably will be fight of the night. Again, I safe bet on Justin Gaethje for fight of the night ever, but Fiziev is a willing dance partner for sure. So
yes.
I think the time off for Justin's gonna have been very good. And knowing that he can get knocked out, you know, just knowing that's a possibility. Yeah. So I'm going to pick Justin again, but I think he gets it done TKO this time, round 2.
All right. Main
event. Alex Pereira, maybe the UFC's biggest star versus Magomed Ankalaev.
Ankalaev could really be a wet blanket here for everybody loves Alex Pereira. He's got all the tools to do it, though. 19-1-1-1, 10 KOs, 9 decisions, performance of the night 4 times, 2nd longest win string at UFC Light Heavyweight Division history with 9. This is a guy, talk about it all the time because I just think it's fascinating. He has that one loss against Paul Craig, a fight that he was dominating, and he got caught with an armbar with a second remaining in the final round. So, I mean, this is a guy who really doesn't lose. Getting his championship opportunity against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, 12-2, 10 KO, 2 decisions. This guy's got an interesting resume too. First and only fighter to win the UFC middleweight and light heavyweight championship. Fewest MMA bouts to become a 2-division champion. Performance of the night 5 times. And this one here too. Tied Matt Hughes, Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, and TJ Dillashaw for 2nd most knockouts in UFC title fights. So he's all action, he's all excitement. Ankalaev, he can throw down with you, but he's probably going to be looking for takedowns and stuff here. Pereira does his homework. This is the best time Pereira could have took this fight, given how all the momentum he has. Also, it's like the best and the worst time because Ankalaev can ruin everything, but you know Pereira works on everything, and now he's had a lot of time to work on things. I've just had a negative feeling about certain things going into this. Like a lot of people I'm not going to like are going to win. I'm going to go against that. I'm going to say Alex Pereira finds a way to catch that chin. It's probably going to be a little later, and but that makes no sense, by the way, because the longer this fight goes, you should go with Magomed Ankalaev because, you know, he's going to be doing the wrestling, takedown. But champions like Alex Pereira, a lot of times they find a way to win when you least expect it. I'm going to go Round 4, TKO. Alex Pereira.
Can Alex get up or at least stay safe when he inevitably gets taken down?
Yes.
So that's the big question. But every round starts on the feet. Ankalaev likes to strike, but he's not stupid. I don't think he's just going to go in there and try to get in a brawl with Pereira. I expect a lot of takedown attempts, and if Alex can defend a lot of them, it's possible he tires Ankalaev out a bit. And when that happens, he's going to slow down. His defense will get a little bit sloppier, and I think Alex can KO him. I'm going to pick Alex by KO in round 3.
Okay.
I'm also, something to think about is that it is Ramadan, and Ankalaev, will be at least somewhat diminished from, the fasting portion of the day. So, and leading up training wise into that. So, it also can, help you focus all that discipline can help focus you too. So it could be a double-edged sword, but I'm still going to go with Alex. I think he's just, got an aura about him, and I think he knows what's coming. He's working with Glover, so on the ground, nobody better to be training him for the last however many years he's been working with him. So
it'd be wild if he ends up pulling a submission.
I would go nuts. That would be amazing. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to KO him on the feet. Probably that left hook.
All right. Let's tell people we got coming up one more time.
All right, March 15th, UFC Fight Night, Vettori versus Dolidze 2, 7 p.m. Eastern from the Apex. And then March 22nd, UFC Fight Night, Edwards versus Brady, 3 p.m. Eastern from the O2 Arena in London. And then March 29th, UFC Fight Night, Moreno versus Urseg, 7 p.m. Eastern from Mexico.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Enjoy UFC 313 and enjoy some Game Up.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor.